Alright, we're going to begin this story in the place where I was born and raised. Well, the hill behind the place where I was born and raised. It was winter and it had just snowed, so I decided I was going to go sledding all by myself, even though I was only 5 years old, and even though I wasn't allowed to go by myself. Unfortunately for me, my dad had just cut up a bunch of firewood and had stacked it at the bottom of the hill. I don't remember much about what happened next, but I do remember waking up. But I was inside, next to the fireplace. My parents had brought me in, and I was sitting on my mother's lap. I was all fine except for the rather large knot at the top of my head. I probably had a concussion. Ouch. Poor past Allison. Now fast forward to elementary school. My sister and I found this great show on TV that changed my life. It was about a magical girl who lived in Japan, and she fought villains. It was Sailor Moon, of course, and this was the first anime I ever watched. After discovering Sailor Moon, my sister and I began to watch all sorts of cartoons and anime on Toonami every day after school. It's one of the highlights of my childhood, and I still have fond memories of sitting on my parents' floor and watching shows like Outlaw Star and Tenchi Muyo. All of these shows had a large impact on me, and I began drawing more and more. I created characters that lived in fantastical worlds, and I often drew so much that my teachers would complain that I wasn't paying enough attention in class. I went through a pretty standard set of awkward phases during my teenage years, the most embarrassing being my goth phase, where I think my wardrobe mainly consisted of fishnets and awkward fairy t-shirts that I bought from Hot Topic. Yeah, not a good look. Then something changed when I went to high school. I went from being relatively outgoing to shy and introverted. This was a strange phase for me that lasted up until the time when I went to college. I didn't love high school, but I had my twin sister, who is still my best friend. And besides, I played a lot of Zelda, so it couldn't have been all bad, right? It was during high school that I began to go to conventions and start to cosplay. My mom helped my sister and I make outfits, and I loved to dress up. One of my first cosplays was Sasami from Tenchi Muyo, and my most recent, Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I was unsure if I wanted to pursue an art career in college, so I took a year to explore my options, and in the end, I was sad without it, so I chose art. It was during my sophomore year that I began to take Japanese, a language I had always wanted to learn. It was a relief to get back into art, and I improved and learned so much. And I've seen my share of nude models, sometimes for 4 hours at a time. You get used to it. Then, spring semester of my junior year, I got the opportunity to study abroad in Japan for 1 semester. It was a dream come true. During my time in Japan, I lived in a small city outside of Osaka called Hirakatashi. I lived with a host family with a host father, mother, and a younger brother. It was a wonderful experience, and I learned and saw so much, and it really changed my life. When I came back from Japan, I had a new love of Japanese food like takoyaki, and as an added bonus, I had become a UFO catcher master who won way too many stuffed alpacas that she then had to stuff into her luggage. My experiences in both Japan and in college have helped change me as a person. I'm no longer that shy girl I was in college, but I truly believe that these have helped change me into the person I was meant to be. In October of last year, I lost my childhood pet and friend, Sammy, who was my cat for 15 years. I'm still sad about it, but we had a lot of good times together, and I know I'll never forget him. As of right now, I am a senior in college, but I'm a bit behind, so I'll be graduating in December of this year. Now for the future. I I've always wanted to live in Japan, so my sister and I will be applying to programs that send people overseas to teach English. It's an amazing opportunity, and I'm so excited to give it a try. All right then. Well, now you know my life story. Well, part of it at least. Anyway, thanks for watching.